And that's it. That was Red Faction Armageddon. I'm gonna do like a really quick review of this game. I think it's a solid shooter. A lot of people bash this game. Even fans of the Red Faction series bash this game because it was a departure from its prequel, which had a non-linear style where you had open-ended objectives and you can figure out how to go about achieving those objectives. I only played the prequel, the demo for the prequel, but I played the demo for this and I was impressed with it enough to buy the full game, and I like it. It's a solid shooter. It's a solid third-person shooter. The gunplay is great. All the weapons are really great. Its standout feature that separates it from other third-person shooters is that it has destructible environments. It's really cool and it's awesome how you can actually destroy the environment you're in. You can easily repair it using that nanoforge thing. It only becomes annoying near the end because there's so many enemies shooting shit at you that you actually destroy the platforms you're supposed to go on in order to proceed with the game and beat the game. It's more of a... It's not like a game-breaking thing or anything like that, but it is, it can be annoying. I also like how they vary the gameplay by letting you, pilot like spider tanks and shit like that. So it's not like too samey. If you ever played that game Warhammer, Space Marines for the third-person shooter one, that's very samey. It's like the same thing over and over again. It doesn't vary the gameplay at all. Whereas this one does, just like any other good third-person shooter. With that said, though, there really isn't a whole lot to differentiate this game from any other third-person shooter out there. There's so many out there. There's the Gears of War series, there's Vanquish, Dead Space, Resident Evil 5 and 6, it's a lot. So, in that sense, yeah, it's a little generic. The story's like forgettable. I don't even know what it's about. Something about shooting aliens or something like that, which is a departure from the previous games from what I understand, because you're not fighting against aliens. It's supposed to be about a rebellion or something. But I don't know. I'm not an expert in Red Faction. Yeah, but the story is nothing interesting, and unfortunately the sexy female character is a throwaway character at the end, Spoiler alert, she's killed just to give this guy a revenge motive, to motivate him more to kill the aliens or whatever, which is kind of like a cheap cop-out. I think they could have fleshed her character out a bit better and actually made her less cliche, instead of just using her as a vehicle to give the protagonist the reason to kill the aliens. And I think killer aliens should be enough motivation. But anyway, the enemy design is kind of crappy. Like these bug-like aliens are so generic looking. They kind of reminds me of the bad guys from Infamous. Nothing really special. It might have to do with the fact that I'm playing it in standard definition, but I can't imagine them looking that much better in HD either, though. So they don't really look all that great. The ending's a little drawn out, but been streaming for 5 hours, a little tired. About 5 hours. But yeah, it's a good solid game. So if you can't get enough of third-person shooters, you should play this game because it's solid. Its prequel is probably better though. I haven't played the full version of that, but I'm willing to believe what people have said. If you prefer more of a non-linear kind of game, then yeah, that would be the one to go for. As long as you know this game is super linear, then I don't think you would have a problem with it. Oh, and before I conclude, the one thing I do want to applaud this game for is the waypoint system. I never got lost in this game once, and that's a really good thing. Too often in games, I get lost, and it's too obtuse, the level design. In this game, there's never any ambiguity. It just tells you, you hit select and it tells you go in this direction. I'm sure there's going to be people who don't like that, who feel like it's too hand-holdy, but for me, it's great. I like that. Bring it on. And one more thing, the weapon upgrade system is great. Uh, you really feel like you become more powerful as the game goes on, and that's always a great thing. That's the real standout feature about this game, the gunplay. The guns are all really, really interesting and unique, and upgrading them is very satisfying, and upgrading your character too is very satisfying as well. So you definitely feel like you've accomplished something by the time you've beaten it, because uh, you know, there's that progression of character that I really like in games. So yeah, check it out if you can't get enough of third-person shooters. That's all I gotta say. You give the game a 75 to 78%.